tonight, should your characters pull the obvious lever? My name is Paul Zajac.
And I'm Kivy.
Welcome to DnDSPN. This is a channel where we smash together Dungeons & Dragons and sports commentary.
Kind of. Well, it's not exactly a lever, but it may as well have been for what else was going on in the room. Let's go to the tapes.
It's hard to read with the frost over it. Do you want to disturb the cases?
Oh.
I mean, we're invisible at the moment.
Yeah, sure. I do.
All right, you disturb the cases, Epillard. Go ahead and move yourself close to one of the three what look like tables in the corner.
Okay.
As you look in, you realize the writing is starting to tell the history of the cloud giants, and as you're kind of like scraping the frost off of it, the instant that you touch the glass, all of a sudden you hear these and the moans of the cloud giant ghosts catch the fact that you have done a thing that you're not supposed to do.
I love a classic dungeon master. Are you sure you want to do that? Or I think it's one of those things. The DM describes clues to the players. They're the ones who are kind of letting them know what in the room is important. They broadcast things that are extremely ominous. They tell you there's a puddle in the middle of the room that you should spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what that puddle is, even if it's not that important. Basically, the DM has kind of got to prioritize what they're telling you about the space. They're not a realtor selling you a house. They are literally taking you in. These are the things that you will notice as you enter the room. I think that especially when you create something that is kind of enticing, as well as a little bit ominous, the DM kind of broadcasts whether or not players should consider approaching that or approach with caution. So I think Charlie did kind of a good job explaining that there's something a little bit off about these. So.
Yeah, my thoughts begin with the adventure and say the map, right? So on the map, there wasn't much there except those cabinets, right? Now that in the end was what was there to do in that room. Who am I to criticize, right? It's so easy to criticize creators versus just create yourself. But there wasn't a lot on the map, and there wasn't a lot in the box text when I went back and read the adventures from Candlekeep Mysteries about what was going on in the room, except there's these giants and there's these cases, right? I think maybe an alternative or like a slightly improved way to do this would have been if there's more elements of the room, and one of them is those cases there. This made me think back. I've talked about this book before. So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master, or Game Master by Justin Alexander. And, his advice in there I really liked is choose three things to describe in every room, right? Three things. And then in your description of those three things, use 3 out of the 5 senses to give additional flavor. So, maybe the lever is obvious in the end anyway, but there's a lever and there's a carpet and there's a painting. And so you're not 100% sure. So that's one thing is maybe gussy it up a little bit, give the players a little bit more to work with. And then it's not just such obvious thing there to do. But if it's an obvious thing, I was thinking about it as a player, why the only reasons not to pull the lever, I think, are if you're in a timed event, or if you're in a disastrous adventure like Tomb of Horrors, right? If you hit the wrong thing, you're dead, right? And so then you have to be really cautious. But if that's not the case, okay, that's kind of fun. I feared that I'm the character who's always going to pull the lever. And, a few episodes ago, we were in this situation. I effectively pulled the lever and then it ended in a TPK. And so I guess that's the other side of it. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost like the joke. Did Gary Gygax write this one or wait, no?
Okay, right. Yeah.
But it's one of those things too. Like you said, use the senses. If there's not much going on in the room, it's just 3 cases. Describe the room as cold. Maybe that cold is coming from those frigid looking cases. Maybe there's a dampness to the air. Maybe it has a smell like nobody's been there in a while. Maybe you get this, or maybe just, you can describe a sense that's not really a sense. Like when you walk in here, you kind of get the feeling that nobody's been here in a very long time. Those are all ways to set a scene in an empty space. It doesn't just have to be, like you said, what you see. It could be what you hear and maybe give some cues to how a character should feel. You can tell a player that this is a place that will scare other people. This is a spooky spot. They can decide if their character's scared or not now. So that's kind of interesting stuff you can play with.
That. I think in the end, my like input is like, yeah, DMs describe more stuff, and players, yeah, just go ahead and pull the lever. Like it's probably gonna be fun.
Pull the lever.
Pull the lever. Pull the lever. Okay. That's it for this one. If you want to see the full adventure, you can check it out on our second channel, DnDSPN 2, The Deuce. And if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. Really helps us out.